What's going on, everybody? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. So happy and grateful to be back here with you all as we get ready to take a look at the markets. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm glad that we are all here together and looking forward to this session so much. Missed you all yesterday, but I have to say I was very, very, very impressed, very proud. We'll cover that in a little bit. We're going to get our bearings here today. We're going to make sure that everyone is on the same page, as we mostly are. As far as any short-term advice, the most important short-term advice I could ever give you is raise your time preference. Stop thinking in the short term. The best short-term advice there is stop thinking in the short term. It's preventing you from meeting your goals. All right, let's get going over here today. Let's take a look at the calendar first as we get started. It might take a couple of minutes to find that flow, but we're going to find that flow. Thanks, everyone, for going ahead and smashing that like button. It is greatly appreciated. Over here this week, today we had Fed Chair Powell speaking, and then we have retail sales later in the week. I don't think either one of those is going to be an impactful event. We'll take a look. We'll watch. Before we get going, watch out and make sure. I will never, ever, 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 ever share my phone number with you in a comment or live on a video, nor ask you to contact me on WhatsApp or anywhere else, ever. This is a spammer. By the way, I like to keep my neighborhood clean. I make sure I spend massive amounts of my time going ahead and reporting those users, removing those comments, because I want to make sure that our community maintains what it is. But nevertheless, you can't keep up with spammers all the time. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. All right. That being said, let's get going over here today. What are we going to start with? Are we going to start with the indexes, or are we going to start with Bitcoin? Are we going to start with the dollar? Are we going to start with the 10-year treasury? Are we going to be looking at Ethereum? Guess what? The market always is offering opportunity. Let's find out where the opportunity is. We're going to have a very strong FX session today because it's Taco Tuesday here. There's a lot to cover. There's a lot to look at. The dollar is what we're going to start with. After the dollar, we're going to look at, oh, by the way, also a strong look at gold and silver today. We're going to cover it all, and we're going to cover it all really well. We're going to start here with the dollar, the DXY. Everyone here is probably calling for the reversal in the dollar. Just like let's raise our time preference. I don't remember when it was, but it was sometime last week, right? It was probably on Friday. It could have been on Thursday. But I was talking about as we're coming back down into this area of support over here at 88.40. I showed you on a larger time preference this chart over here on the weekly. I gave that really nice review last Monday on the DXY. And I said, as we came into this area, for us to bounce up and come up and test over here is probably my base case of what I'm expecting. We haven't even gotten nearly that far. We're just into resistance right now over here at 90.57. You can see that resistance off the top of this channel over here. That's what we're coming into this morning. Let's go back into real time. Let's do that on the 8-hour. But first, let me highlight that trend line for you. Let me highlight the support down and over here. And as we broke down technically out of this channel, we're coming down over here. We said, listen, this would be normal, right? So now that everyone is all of a sudden thinking that like, oh my goodness, but we'll talk about that in 1 second. Let me go ahead and get into real time with you. Let's look what's going on. You can see this resistance over here at 90.57 over here. That is resistance. We're going to see if we're rejected off that resistance, resume off of it, or if not, what are we looking for? We're going to be looking up into this trend line over here. We have a little bit right over here around 91.20, that little bit of resistance and into that trend line. That's where we're looking for that trend line to hold after that breakdown. And then, that breakdown. This is the retest. If we hold this resistance over here, that's saying that the market is a lot more bearish than if we rise up into this channel. If we rise up to that trend line and hold, that's still bearish. But we have a bearish posture right now, right? Why? Go back and watch last Monday's afternoon video. We covered the DXY, and you'll have a very, very clear understanding. Everyone is watching the 10-year treasury ever since the Democrats took the Georgia over here and control of the Senate. We're seeing over here as the expectations are that massive stimulus will be taking place. That is what? That is indicative of future inflation. By the way, inflation has been rampant ever since the Fed acted the end of last March. For the last 7 months, we've seen signs of inflation everywhere. But Jordan, QE is deflationary. All right. Anyway, over here we're seeing price what? Let's get that higher time perspective over here. Are we in an uptrend or a downtrend? Right? Clearly a downtrend. Where's the big resistance, by the way? I don't know why we don't have a line. We should have a line right over here at 156. That's the big level over here. I'm sorry, 162. Let's just draw it in. That way we always have our bearings. Let's keep going over here. That's resistance. And then you can see below it, if you look a little bit below, you can see over here where we peaked out twice over in this area. Then follow the mouse over at 144. We also have resistance. What about right now, where we are right now? Are we into any type of resistance down over here? No, it's really at 144, right? All right, let's draw that in. So listen, if you're following headlines, like on Zero Hedge or anywhere else, they're there to get you to click on stories, and they're sensational for a reason. It's so that you'll click and read. All right. So what else are we looking at? That's the dollar. I want to take a look over here at before we get into gold and silver. I want to take a look at Bitcoin. All right. Everyone yesterday, by the way, I saw Alan started a beautiful thread. Thanks, Alan, on Twitter. And I saw the comments in there. There were a couple that I didn't get a chance to late at night. I was off grid, completely out of the loop yesterday. That's why I could not make it. By the way, I updated everyone on first of all on Telegram, on this channel's broadcast channel, where every time we upload a video or go live, it's posted to everyone. If you're not on that list, that's the list. It's in the description below of this video. Go ahead and make sure you're on that list. And I let everyone know that, listen, I can't make it tomorrow morning. It's the first time ever. And that also I would not be there for the afternoon video, that this morning, we would start our regular schedule. I also updated everyone on the community tab on YouTube. So if you want to know what's going on, make sure that you are in the loop. Alan went ahead and started a thread on Bitcoin yesterday, and I saw the comments, and everyone knew exactly where we were and what we were looking for. I was very, very, very happy to see that. That makes me very, very happy that we all continue to grow as traders. Now, what is going on over here? By the way, this line has not been moved. This line where we peaked out, that's the line that we've had in here for months, right? That line was drawn in somewhere around, I would say, over the summer, right? And you can see that all that happened after breaking out of our last known trendline resistance, we've come back and tested it. I don't even know what it was. I'm going to guess that's a little less than a 30% drawdown, right? Let's see. 28% drawdown, right? What have we said this is very important. This is so important right now. What have we said this entire bull market phase? Always be mentally prepared for at least a 30% drawdown. The most difficult piece of this bull market, is not being positioned for this bull market, right? You have to expect those 30% plus drawdowns at any time. Yes, the market until now was only showing us 20% drawdowns and less, right? But this is totally healthy. When we were seeing this vertical price action, that was not healthy. And I said, if we continue to go vertical, and I pointed out we're not going vertical, but if we start going vertical, then I would be looking for bigger than 30% drawdowns. This 30% drawdown over here is the best thing that could have happened for the sustainability of this bull market that we're in right now. And everyone, by the way, was waiting for this pullback. How many of the people that were waiting for the pullback actually purchased Bitcoin? I hope you did, because you can't just be like, oh, Bitcoin pulled back 30%. Let me go ahead and work on transferring funds over to this exchange, sending a wire to my broker, waiting the time it takes for the wire to clear, for my broker to approve it. You have to have your orders in advance. We've spoken about that multiple times. You always have to be ready. Here was your pullback, right? Beautiful technical pullback right into the beautiful area of trendline support over here. And what is happening since? Nothing, right? This is all great. We're going back down to 3,000, Jordan. All right, what else? There's nothing else to say right now, right? This is what you've been waiting for. This is what people have been begging for. People want to buy Bitcoin when it's at 40,000, but when you have the pullback, almost 30% pullback into 30,000, then everyone gets scared. Understand, trading is all psychological. It is all about controlling your emotions. It is all about having your plan in place ahead of time and then executing. That includes your stop loss whenever you take a trade. And if you're afraid to take that stop loss, if you're afraid to be wrong, then you're never going to make this. You're never going to make it, right? You have to get over yourself. Really, to be a trader, you have to get over yourself. You just have to want to be correct. You don't have to be proven right. Here was your gift. This was the gift you were waiting for. Could we go lower? Why not? 30, always be mentally prepared for a 30% plus pullback. In the last bull market, we saw a pullback of what? 39%. Could that happen again? Yes. If we start even going vertical higher, we could have a greater pullback than 39%. Look over here. This next trend line support over here is a 34% pullback. And the one below it over here at 24,000, 43% pullback. I do not think that we're going to see that. If we did, I would expect myself and everybody to lean in extraordinarily hard. There will be a lot of people capitulating if that happened down over here. A lot of people will be blown out as that happened when they should be leaning in over there. Everything that's happening right now looks beautiful. All right, what about on Ethereum? Let's check out Ethereum, right? So I'm going to, by the way, on Bitcoin, this trend line over here was not moved. This has been over here. You all know the focus I put on Bitcoin. This line of support, that's wrong, right? Why do I say that? Just go to a higher time frame over here. This is the 3-day over here. And I could see this is why I put it off of that top touch over there, right? And then over there. But the market is clearly paying attention to that last touch over here of support over there. This one to the left of it. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it closer into this area over here. So I'm going to adjust to the market. Why? Because I don't need to be right. I just want to be on the right side. And then there you go. You can see that's what the market is showing me now. I like that better. That's what I'm doing. And here we are together. What does this mean? A lot of folks, a lot of people really looking to position into Ethereum. They saw it running away. Ethereum, I would like to know myself, how far was this pullback over here? This was a 32% pullback. Not bad. That's pretty good on Ethereum, right? Because Ethereum, you expect, as it's outgaining Bitcoin in 2020, Ethereum outperformed Bitcoin. I'm expecting during this bull market for Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin, right? So I'm expecting larger drawdowns. It's only a 4% larger drawdown. That's pretty good on Ethereum. But a lot of people who are looking to position in, here's your gift. This was your opportunity. This is what you've been waiting for. Everything here is super healthy. Let's look at Ethereum Bitcoin over here, right? Remember, I've been saying at this point you need to get above this trend line over here. Let's go to real time over here on the 8-hour. I've been saying once you're clear this resistance, that offers an opportunity for a long or back into this support over here. Look at that. Not only has that support held, conquering the markets all day long, resuming off of it. You know where your stop loss is. What do? Do you put, if you're taking this trade, we were saying above this resistance, that opens up a retest and a resumption. Or we were saying if we come back down into this line of support and resume off of it, that also offers an entry, right? So if you take this entry right over here, where do you put your stop loss? Are you going with the tight stop loss? Or are you going below that last swing low and below that area of trend line? Those are your two choices. Before you enter the trade, you have to know which of these two you are choosing because your position size is dependent on that. Trading 101 and the most crucial part that almost everyone misses out there. All right, let's take a look at the indexes. We're going to start with KIPS's. We're going to start with the FTSE 100 over here. All right, last we checked in together, that was coming into the resistance over here, right? And now we're backing off, super healthy. What is developing over here? Everyone is like, by the way, we're going to look at the indexes right now. We're just going to start with the FTSE 100. And once again, this morning I saw headlines calling for a crash in the equity markets. Why is it that every week and every other day people are calling for the crash of the equity markets, right? Utterly ridiculous. If the equity markets, they have any type of technical breakdown, we will be there, right? All right, what are we looking at over here? This looks like a beautiful pattern that we are always stalking and watching. It looks like a bull flag developing over here. This is a sign of the market getting ready to continue up, unless it breaks down outside of that lower trend line support. If it does, we have local support over here in this area of around, what is that over here? That's 6,621. And then below that, we have much further support. This all looks super healthy right now. Let's just get a bigger bird's eye view over here. So you could see that was that first area of resistance over there. Price backing off there. Normal, healthy price behavior, right? And then if we break out of this bull flag and get above that resistance, the next target over here is 7,152. All looks good. All looks healthy. We'll just keep this bull flag over here because that's what's developing. So we have our situational awareness. Let's take a look at the equity markets because, everyone says they're crashing. S&P is just off the all-time high over here. What's going on technically over here? Is this bullish or bearish, right? I mean, it really doesn't get any more bullish in nature than this. And all that's happening right here at all-time highs is prices consolidating. Nothing else to say or do. I really don't think equities are attractive, right? By the way, so what happens if rates continue to rise? What happens if we're seeing signs of inflation, right? I mean, we are seeing signs of inflation. And then what happens if rates continue to rise because of that? So, first of all, I mean, will the Fed have to come in and cap rates? Yep. Why? Because the system will implode if they don't. Could stocks continue to rise as rates rise, even if the dollar strengthens? 100%, right? By the way, part of Brent Johnson's milkshake theory. It's just a theory, like all models. Consult them, understand them, but do understand that all models break, right? By the way, so in that theory of milkshake theory, he has as the dollar continues to strengthen and rise, so do equities, right? Because foreigners need to be invested in the U.S. markets. So either which way, just be aware that a rising yields do not mean the market's going to crash, especially under this circumstances that we're in right now, why the dollar continues to be devalued, the purchasing power of the dollar, and all this QE is hyper asset inflationary. Let's look at the Nasdaq over here, see what's going on. Beautiful pullback right into that local support happening right now. You see where my mouse is? That is resistance. That broken resistance right here is now being tested as support. Beautiful. This trend line also continues. You can see over here it was in play. Here's a touch, right? Here was another touch. It wicked down in both cases. The body's held. Here's another touch. Here the body's held, broke, but that was near term. So in this whole area over here, so let me put a box in. Let's do that. Just so everyone has that little bit of a buy zone. All right. I'm going from the top of that resistance to the low of that support over there. That's where that box is coming in right over there. This whole area right now is a buy zone, right? That's what we're looking at. What happens if we break down over there? Look at the next area of support is coming right over here at 1276. This is looking entirely bullish. There's nothing suggesting at any point right now, unless you're the type of person that keeps trying to, by the way, that isn't even a 2% pullback. People, I've had friends. I had friends for the past 10 years that have lost a fortune, right? Buying puts, right? Thinking that the market's going to crash the whole way down. Anyway, here we go. What else is going on? Let's check out the structure of the Dow, right? Bullish. What about the Russell? Extremely bullish over here, right off the all-time highs. If we start getting a breakdown, by the way, a breakdown will probably offer opportunity. At this point in time, I'm looking for a correct. Right now, the equity markets continue to be, in my opinion, just unattractive. If at any point in this year we have a correction, más o menos 9% on the S&P 500, that's going to be offering opportunity. At that point, they will become attractive. All right, what else? We've covered a lot, and how long? So we've been online over here for 24 minutes. And how you all feeling? Right? We're feeling pretty much in control right now. We like that. Let's take a look at gold and silver. Let me just clean that up over here. By the way, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Everyone, when you see the afternoon uploads and you smash that like button. By the way, on Sunday, because I wasn't going to be here on Monday, I made sure to put out a video on that Bitcoin put out on Bitcoin. It was the first time ever I put in the comment. Could everyone please like that button? Do you see how much that helps that video? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Did everyone see that the game of trades went ahead and after we put out that the double wave of the Bitcoin bull market, they put out a video, the double bubble. The game of charades, big shout out, right? Thanks for following our work. But nevertheless, stealing is stealing. It's not a form of flattery. So over here, you got what's going on. Let's get a good look at gold right now and see what's going on. So look, this is very, 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 very clear. When I say it's clear, let me make it very clear for myself, very, very clear for you. This top line resistance over here, right? Sorry about the degree of that, the angle. And that over here, this is a massive downward sloping channel, a bull flag in this massive bull market we're in right now. As it broke out over here, I was like, no, don't chase it. And everyone wanted to chase it, wait. And then over here, it gave an entry signal, stopped out, right? And then what happened? Back below the channel, right over here, back below the channel. What happens next? That's your bearings. That's where you are right now. What happens next? Because everyone's interested, right? Well, let's take a look. Let me come to, first of all, to the daily time frame, and then I'm going to drop down to the 8-hour. Right? He does. That's why I'm giving him the shout out. I know he's watching this, so I'm giving the shout out over here because he constantly copies the content. All right. So over here, what's going on? So first of all, from my eyes, from my perspective, right, we are still following the yield curve, right? Oil is not. That's a great observation. I'm gonna have to lean in on Kips after I finish going on to gold and silver, because Kips just, as always, just pointed out a phenomenal observation. Such a large part of trading is making observations. Over here, that oil is not. So we'll look at oil right after that, right? So listen, this is follow my lead over here on gold. So right now, we're back into this channel. So right now, I'm not doing anything. If we break out of this channel again to the upside, I'll be looking to attack again. By the way, Paul Tudor Jones, one of a legend, simple legend, right? But he has said, because he says the greatest amount of profit can be made in a market's turn, right? Selling tops and buying bottoms. But Jordan, you say never do that. That's gambling. Yeah, because he's a legend, and he'll take so many different trades trying to pick that top or bottom, but he'll take tiny stop losses on all of them until he gets it right. If you don't have the fortitude to do that, don't even try. Here on the 8-hour, what does that mean? Well, if you just got stopped out over here and then you get another breakout of this trend line, if you don't even have the fortitude to go ahead and take that technical break, this is not for you. You can't get shell-shocked getting stopped out once. It's nothing. It's what we do. You got to take your stop losses, and you got to take a lot of them, right? You should be able to take 50% of the trades you take should end up at a stop loss without problem. All right, anyway, I'm waiting over here for a breakout over here of that trend line, and until that happens, I'm not even interested in gold, right? Well, what about buying gold lower? Really? Really? I mean, if you're looking to take advantage of the market momentum, and that's what we do here, is we're looking to find the trend, and then we're looking to take profit during that sweet spot of the trend. So if this gets going, if a momentum trade sets up, then I have a swing trade over here that I'm highly interested in. Not only that, because it's a swing trade, that could become a position trade, because I'm looking to test over here the all-time high on gold and keep running. So that's interesting to me, but not until we get that breakout, right? Now, this is just unattractive. And by the way, is this where I want to put my money right now, into gold? Obviously not, right? Track the gold to Bitcoin ratio over here. That speaks for itself. What about on silver? Continues to look healthy over here, healthier than gold. Look at this line over here. Let me just go ahead and highlight it for you. And then we're going to go over to oil, as Kips just highlighted that it is continues to rise in price. Is that because of what's going on geopolitically with Iran right now? Could be. That could be. So over here, gold, silver just held 24. What is this? 24.32. Yeah, 24.32. This is beautiful to see. This could be an entry over here. Would you take this entry into that area of resistance? I would not. I would not, right? That's not attractive to me. My stop loss is down over here. It's less than a 1-to-1 ratio. I'll take 1-to-1 all day long because as I come into that first area of resistance or support, I'm tightening up my stop loss, moving it to break even, right? The only way to succeed in this game is to be able to push your winners and take big gains while taking trades with small stop losses and break even, right? Small profits, big profits, always small gains, and break even trades. Anyway, what about getting above this area, right? 26, that has been the area that I've been looking to attack over here. But now that we've gotten rejected by the resistance over here at 27.55, does that change, right? I don't know. Let's see what happens over the next few sessions. Right now, I'm not interested in it. Maybe we're gonna even wait for us to break the 2020 high. I don't know right now, and if I don't know, it's just not attractive. There's a lot of opportunity today, so let's find out what that is and let's get into it. Let's look at oil, right? And you can see that oil over here. This was what we were targeting. We said if we get above it, then next we're targeting 54. That's all happening. Let me come on the 8 hour, right? So you could see over here, I was not following this at the moment. Let's see what's happening over here just to get into the groove, just get into the rhythm of oil over here. Once it broke above that 49.51 resistance, you could see over there that it did confirm it into support, resumed off of it on our way towards our next target. It's out of play for me right now. I don't know if it is because of the geopolitical events right now in Iran that oil continues to be bid over here or not. It's some pretty big resistance over here, right? It's some pretty big resistance over there as we get into that 54, into that 56 area. Above there, I can say then oil will continue to look bullish. Why would oil be trading so high? Well, you got all this money sloshing around as the central banks continue to print. It's got to go somewhere, right? It really doesn't warrant it, in my opinion, but it doesn't matter. It only matters what's happening on price. I don't see a trade right now, so I'm going to keep going and moving along. We're going to get into FX right now. We're going to get into FX right now. Yeah, so listen, this is probably one of the most common and important questions. How could you invest into Bitcoin? So Jordan, I just point, there's a playlist on this channel, the Bitcoin playlist. Invest in yourself, invest in your time. Watch 3 of those videos a day for the next week, and then you will know exactly what you need to do on Bitcoin. But do not ever take an investment without doing the research and understand why you're doing it. And if you understand why you're doing something, then you don't really need to ask other people, like, should I do this? Should I do that? And you should not unless you know. Are we looking at possible head and shoulders on Bitcoin? Let's take a look on Ethereum and Bitcoin right now. So just an important note. It's very dangerous always trying to spot head and shoulder patterns because people see them all the time. You're much better off just tracking the neckline, right? And also the 4 hour, not such a great time frame to be on, right? Not such a great time frame to be on. What are we looking at over here? If this was a head and shoulders, right, with the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder, where are you tracking the neckline, right? And that's a hard one. So I could do this though to make it easier on myself. Let me draw in a trend line over here, right? That trend line is pretty clear to me. Let me go ahead and highlight that, make it a little bit darker so everyone can see it, right? That trend line is very clear to me. If this is a head and shoulders, the entry is on the break of this trend line. All right? That would be, and by the way, that's just this over here. Our trend line over there. You can see it over there. So, I mean, why I say it, because they're coming into the same spot right over here right now. So that instead of looking for the head and shoulders, always focus on the neckline. That's the important piece. Okay. Oh, the trend line, I should say, which is the neckline. All right. To get it to 8 hour on the trading view, it's the pro upgrade, which is like $8 a month. You just go down to the bottom over here. I can't see it right now because of, there we go, I can move that. And you click 8 and then you go hours. So it's like $8 a month. It is, I believe, essential. It's so important. All right. Is it $4 a month? Yes, this is it. You have to have patience. This is a game of patience. It's a game of intellect. It's a game of emotions. It's a game of it's a game of math. It's a game of patience. All right, what else are we looking at over here? Let's keep going. Let's get into FX over here. Let's get a really good look of what's going on. I want to see what's going on. We're going to go across the board. Let me just follow. Let's start off with out of habit here because it's a bit off a session, but I'm always going to start with our highlighted pairs over here. And this is going to stay green over here. This is the New Zealand dollar Swiss franc. The reason I say it's going to stay green right now because this is entirely in play. Someone could have had an entry in this London session over here right now. You could see that we've pulled back into this broken resistance over here right now, holding as support. So that's green lighted for me because I was not obviously around yesterday and or trading in the afternoon. US dollar, Swiss franc, US dollar, Swiss franc, US dollar, Japanese yen. This is interesting. Let's take a look over here. Is this set up for us? First of all, let me come to the daily time frame just to give you that deeper perspective. Do you see these trend lines going back to July over here? Do you see that we've broken out above the outer one over here? Let's take a look at what that is and what that means, right? So break out of the trend line over here and just into that resistance, right? If I go ahead and clone this line again, I just need to see. I got to get my awareness. I got to know what's going on. Let me clone that line. So interesting that that line over here, do you see that touch over there? Do you see that that is completely in play as well? So it's not only that resistance, it's also this outer trend line over here. I'm going to keep this over here right now because this says to me two things. First of all, I want to wait until we break out above this outer trend line over here and this resistance here if I'm going to be looking at now going long on the US dollar, Japanese yen. Okay. And it also says to me that I could be looking to short here because I'm in a strong downtrend. And it's not only that horizontal resistance, it's also that trend line resistance. So I'm going to leave this green over here. This is in play right now as a short, possible short entry off of that downtrend, pull back into resistance, horizontal resistance, and also trend line resistance over there. And also, if we break above that outside of this trend line and outside of the horizontal resistance, that also offers the possibility of going long in coming sessions. Australian dollar, Japanese yen, what's going on? I could see that a couple of things have happened, but most importantly, this resistance is holding right now. We're trading below it. We're being rejected by that resistance. Am I going to look to short that? No way. I mean, we're in a clear, strong uptrend on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. I don't look to sell tops. So there's no way I'm going to be looking to sell this top over here. What about looking to go long? No, right? The only way I could look to continue taking any long on this trade is clearing above that resistance. Let me look on the daily time frame. Let me see what's going on over here. That's a big resistance level. So if we get above it, I would be looking to go long. That's a strong resistance level. Clearing above it, that opens up a move towards this bit of resistance over here, all the way at 84. That's actually a beautiful trade. So I'll keep tracking that. It's not happening right now. I'm also going to keep it green. I'm going to keep it green. Would I be looking to sell this trade over here? Are we in an uptrend or a downtrend? Jordan, we're in a strong downtrend. I want to look to lean into this resistance and sell it. Well, listen, here's the thing. If you were a position trader and you were looking at that, you can make the case for that. But we're swing traders making our living off the 8 hour time frame. Jump down to the 8 hour time frame. What's this big event that happened over here? This is when the Fed injected that $4.1 trillion, right? And since then, we're in a massively strong uptrend, right? Am I looking to sell this over here? Absolutely not. But if we get above it, I'll be looking to continue to attack long. What's going on over with copper? Let's take a look over here. First, let me start on the daily. You see what I'm doing? I'm trying to get my awareness about everything I'm doing over here. I mean, clearly strong uptrend on copper. Same thing as the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. What are we doing? We're seeing commodities rise. Australian dollar, right? Commodity currency, copper, commodity, kips all over the commodity trade since the summer. So we'll take a look at that in a little bit. By the way, let me regress over to Will's awesome work over here on Bitcoin. You saw all that video posted on Sunday where it had Adam's work, it had Will's work, and it also had Patrick's work all coming together over here. Do you see, like, first of all, you have some people wondering, you can't place trend lines on a log chart. Oh yeah? Why not? Anyway, do you see over here Will's work over here? Will had this trend line in before we came in and tested it. Perfect test right over here of the trend line he had in over there. We're gonna make note of that. We're gonna pay attention to that, right? Interesting. Great job, Will, by the way. Great job. What else? Copper. Copper's in a massively strong uptrend over here ever since the Fed acted over here. We're not looking at signs of inflation. We're looking at inflation taking place all over the place. And there you see over here as we get ready. Some people were saying, Jordan, copper's not used in the electric grid whatsoever. It's all about aluminum. Do your own research. I did mine, especially after that was brought up. Over here, you're looking at copper though. Beautiful consolidation over here, right? Beautiful leg up, beautiful consolidation. Let's highlight it over here, right? You see it's got that little bit of a slope to it, to the upside. But most importantly, and always most importantly, is horizontal support and resistance. You got an area right over here that's holding right now, resuming off of it. Is this leading to an entry over here? Yeah, why not? Your risk is capped, right? You know where you're getting out if you're wrong, if you get the entry. Never take the entry before you get the entry signal. And that's that. That's not even highlighted for me. That's not an actionable signal for me coming up. Let's go see if there's a wave coming into the markets or not right now. When I say wave into the markets, what I mean by that, Tether Friday, not concerning. Tether is a bunch of FUD. I've addressed that in a couple of weeks ago in some of our updates, right? Tether is 3% of the Bitcoin market. So anyway, copper is used in the core transmission and cost of a six-figure range. Most companies try to reuse it because of the cost. All right, let's keep going over here. What do we got going? Did Jordan sell his Bitcoin? I think the whole community could answer that. Jordan will most likely sell his Bitcoin at the top of this bull market, right? And when I say most likely, maybe not if capital gains go up to 40%. Those are making over $1 million, capital gains over 40%. I might just hold on to my Bitcoin, for another cycle or two or three until, a new administration takes foot, and that's all change. FUD is, just research FUD real quick. Just FUD, crypto, Bitcoin. All right, so all right, let's keep going. I want to get into the work over here. I want to see, I make this analogy often and I haven't made it in a while. So as we're here all together, I'm going to let you know what we're doing right now at this part here of the stream. The first thing that we do is everything that we always do, but we're not going to go continue actually until we take a look over here at Kips's nickel, right? Let's take a look over here. Let's get on the 3-day over here. Let's see what's going on. I'm zooming out, right? We're on the 3-day over here on purpose just to raise our time preference over here because this is a long-term trade that Kips got in and made everyone aware of way earlier than I even started tracking it here on the channel, right? It took months of his persistenceness to really get me to understand what was going on. And, sorry about being late, but, here we are. So right now I see over here that nickel continues to be in this area between resistance and support. What does that mean? You're waiting either for this resistance to break to look for the next leg up, or you're looking to buy any further retest of that support. All right, so just wanted to make sure that we continue to stay on the pulse of that. That's where we are right now. waiting either for a breakout of the resistance for the next legs up or a move back into that support. Since this is a massive uptrend, look at the channel, rising channel, looking to buy off supports. All right. FUD, example. If someone tells you Bitcoin is a bubble, they have FUD, right? What is it? Fear and forgot it. I forgot. I have ingrained into me what it means, but you know, that's right, my brother. That's right. Kip's the man. It's not even a myth. He's not even a myth. All right, let's keep going. Let me get going. Let me come back to it. I gotta get off the comments. Fear. Thank you, Daniel. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. People will try to do it to you the entire bull market. The tether trick is as old as 2017. That's old news, right? But basically is what you see people do is put out coordinated press releases and news stories trying to talk you out of your Bitcoin so they could buy it, right? Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. All right. Classic sales tactic. All right, let's keep going. We're going to get into FX right now. After going through Bitcoin, Ethereum, the dollar, the indexes, gold, and silver, we look at the FX markets. The FX is where I continue to make my living. FX is what I believe to be is the best market there is out there. FX will increase your skill set by an enormous degree. The only reason I'm able to trade any market and see it is because of what I've accomplished on FX. I'm going to go through right now all these pairs over here. I'm going to do this, and by doing this, first of all, a couple of things happen. I'm able to get a really good feel for the market and keep the pulse of the market. I'm also able to go through over here and I will green tag anything that is possibly set up that could offer a trading opportunity in the next 24 hours. I'll review those again this evening to see if I'm taking a trade. Now, what I notice is that setups happen in waves, right? It's rarely that you'll see 2 or 3 setups occurring. Setups occur usually in a wave of setups, and like a surfer sits on a surfboard looking over the horizon, he's looking what he believes to be that best wave out of that set that he wants to try to ride. It's the same thing. Here's what you do. You find out the wave that's coming in, you tag them all green, and then you review them later looking for the best 1 or 2 setups that you believe is that best wave of opportunity that you want to ride. I'm going to do this on the 8 hour. I'm going to go through every pair over here. I'm going to go through it fast if I don't see something that I like. All right, this is the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. The first thing I'm going to make note of, this is a cross pair, okay? By cross, I mean, I don't mean that it's anything that's including the US dollar or the Japanese yen. I refer to those either as US dollar pairs or Japanese yen pairs. So we're looking at a cross pair, the Australian dollar versus the Canadian dollar. I notice that right now we're riding this trend line over here, right? I noticed, but this is very tough to trade often, right? But this is a channel, a rising upward channel over here. We're into the area of support over here against that trend line. So what does that mean to me, right? This is where you lean in looking for a resumption off of it, right? Also, if you break these trend lines over here, then you're looking for a retrace down. Once you break that trend line, obviously you're no longer lean off the support, but price could either go sideways after it breaks, or it could have a much bigger retrace down. All right, but that's not something I'm even going to flag because it's not my style. I'm not going to lean off this support over here in this tight channel looking to take a long. I believe there's going to be better opportunity out there. I'm looking for it. I'm going to go to the daily really quick over here just to make sure. And you see, this is why I'm doing it. I'm looking over here and I can see this area. Look over here at this touch. Follow my mouse over to the right. Touch, touch. That was all resistance, right? I have to draw that line in. I'm going to just move up a line of support and then touch it over. I'll just draw the line of resistance in. All right, I'm going to put that into me over here. Look over there. There's the touch also. No, Jordan, that's wrong. No, it's not. Sorry about that. You know what? I'm perfectly human, and sometimes it takes time to get my bearings. That's resistance. You see that area of support, and then it was touched as resistance? That's resistance that belongs right there, right now. And then also I could have a line of support. I'm going to bring this one up over here. And I could see over here the market paid attention clearly to that resistance and that. And we're just above that. So now I'm going to come back into real time with that little bit of guidance. And what does that say to me? Right? It says to me that I'm into resistance right now and I'm being rejected by that resistance. By the way, I'm going to come back to that in 1 second. We just did the work over here on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Do you see that these two pairs are the exact same thing right now? Right? So what does that mean? You're looking at two pairs right now that are extremely tight correlation. You would never ever take a trade on both of those pairs. It's one or the other, right? So it's a question of which one you prefer. All right. So and by the way, I tend to stay away from Swiss franc pairs. It's not a hard and fast rule. Outside of what? Outside of a risk off move. If we're seeing risk off, a lot of uncertainty in the market, and you're seeing the Japanese yen bid and the Swiss franc bid, that's generally when I lean into those pairs. So in this case, I would be focused more on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. That's where I would be looking for my trade. Let's look at the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, another cross pair over here. You can see this resistance over here has been broken, right? So I got to flip that over to green over here. Let's go do that right now. Let me go boom, boom. And then I should make that a little bit darker, or is my screen just fading because I got to plug in the battery, which I'm going to do with you all right now. All right, there we go. So what does this mean to me? This is much easier. I don't have to squint anymore. Do you see where the dotted line of the current price is right now? You can see it right over here. You can see that's resistance also. Why do I say that? You see the touch here, and then the touch here. By the way, I do this on the 8-hour. It's much easier for you to do this on the daily time frame, right? And by the way, going to the daily now, do you see that dotted line where we are right now, where I was pointing out that resistance? Do you see also the touch right there into that spike into there? Very important line that needs to be on our chart right now. Let's go ahead and put that in over here. I'm going to raise that up a little bit, right? And make that red as resistance. And then I'll come back into real time on the 8-hour, right? It feels like there's paid FUD in the chat. Rich, I'm not following the chat. We have a few people who are definitely very, very helpful in helping moderate, because I need to focus in on the charts. Otherwise, I cannot do this presentation for all of us. So I can't be following the comments. You all know on Fridays, I focus in on the comments and we have ask me anything type sessions. But right now I'm focusing on the charts. I can't focus in on the comments. Wes, and a few others, Cameron, have gone ahead, and George, and are helping out moderating. And they can't be here every day. Whenever they are, they're able to do it. If anyone else that's here every day, meaning I'll recognize your name, and if you just want to, step in and moderate, just send me an email, YouTube moderator, and I'll help you out. But I hope not. We don't like any of that nonsense in this chat. That's for sure. So we're into some resistance right now on the 8-hour on the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. So that's not an actionable signal, right? Is that something you want to sell? Is this a downtrend or an uptrend right now? That's a question we need to ask ourselves. For me, it's kind of sideways, right? Between that move over here and this move, we're dead center. Could you sell that? Yeah, you could sell that. Do you want to focus on Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, two strong pairs, right? Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, two of the strongest pairs right now. Do you want to sell strength versus strength? No way, not me. All right, so I'm just going to back off. But notice what I'm doing here, and the most important thing I'm doing is making observations. Your brain is this incredible, incredible. I don't even know what to call it, because it's beyond a tool, right? But by repeating all these things, making these observations, your brain processes all this stuff, and that's how you stay in the flow of the market. That's how I'm able then to go ahead, when I find out which pairs I'm interested in setups, discern what trade I want to take. Australian dollar, US dollar, right? I should have a line of support over here. Let me go in the daily time frame, take a look over there, and just back out over here. Massive uptrend over here. Where's that support over here? Right over here, right? You see this big area? I don't even know why I don't have that over there. Let's drag this up over there. Let's go ahead and look. That's a pretty good touch over here. I like it over there. Let's go to real time and see what that means for us. That's resistance right here. That looks a lot like what? That looks exactly like the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Watch. But do you see the Australian dollar, Japanese yen looks a little stronger? Here's the Australian dollar, US dollar, right? Do you see that? Do I want to sell this, right? Jordan, the yields are rising. Dollar found the bottom. I don't pick tops or bottoms. I don't pick tops or bottoms. There's no way I would look to sell this over here. If I'm looking to trade on the US dollar, it could be versus the Japanese yen if we break above here. That's a trend line break. That's offering me an opportunity. On the Australian dollar, US dollar, that would be picking a top. I'm not doing that over here. Let me add this trend line in over here. I think this might be something that we want. You see this over here, that resistance, support, right? That's going to be helpful for me. Breaking that below that it's going to mean I'm going to back off until we come towards that trend line over here and this horizontal support. But right now, this is completely out of play. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, what's going on over here? Let's take a look right now. This is interesting. Let's look on the daily time frame. Why do I say it's interesting? I love these multi-year trend line breaks over here. This is a 2-year trend line. Touch, touch, touch. We're coming into it right now, right? Breaking above it, that offers opportunity. Right now, it's resistance. Do I want to sell this resistance, right? No way. From my perspective on the 8-hour, we're in an uptrend. Are we? Right? What's over here? This is when the Fed intervened. This is an uptrend. I don't want to sell into that resistance. If I was a position trader, maybe, but I prefer to take swing trade entries if I could turn them into position trades. I don't want it breaking above this trend line over here. I love it, and I'm going to be probably, this is a type of trade that I would take all day long. What happens over here? Into the resistance, we were rejected into that first support. I also take these trades often. If I'm looking for a preemptive break over here of that trend line, as we came down off the area of support over there, that's an entry that I would take. It's about a 1-to-1 into the resistance. I'll take a 1-to-1 risk reward all day long because as soon as I get into that resistance, I'm moving my stop loss to break even. But right now, there's nothing going on. Swiss franc, Japanese yen, nothing. I'm going to move forward if nothing's attractive. Euro, Australian dollar, right? So I would like to sell this after break, but just so for those who are not following, this was this consolidation that went on for multi-months. Tried when we broke out to the upside, try going long. That was a stop out trade for myself. Now that we are breaking down to the downside over here in this massive uptrend, I'm looking to sell resistance. Okay. But right now, there's no opportunity to sell resistance. Why? Because look, we're just trading off the lows. So I'll keep patient and offer if opportunity presents itself in the days and weeks ahead, we'll be there. But right now, today, that's not there. Keep moving along. Let me just draw that just as a reminder. Euro, Canadian dollar. Right? Yes, right. Beautiful, Anthony. That's the way to look at it, in my opinion. That's the way to look at it, in my opinion. Euro, Canadian dollar. I could see this massive consolidation in this area over here. It's complete. First of all, it's a cross pair. And second of all, it's just consolidating over here. Nothing to see or do. Let's look at the Euro, Swiss franc. Nothing. If there's nothing to see or talk about, I'm moving right along. This is the Euro, British pound. This might be offering an opportunity. Why do I say that? Do you see this channel over here? This is the resistance. This is the support. As we come down into the support over here, by the way, there's horizontal support right over here. Let's draw that in, right where price is right now. Let's draw that in over here, right? So this is the top of this channel. Here was another touch of it, right? Here was another touch of it. That's where we are right now. A resumption off of this is this place that you could take along on the euro versus the pound. I think it is, right? Is this a trade I would take? There's a big range. I don't trade sideways markets, which this is. It's a pretty decent range over there. It's something someone could consider. It's not something I'm going to even flag, but it's something I'm going to flag this as yellow just so we as an exercise look at it tomorrow, but it's not something I'll actively trade. Right? What happens if we break this area of support over here? Then I might start attacking to the downside. right? If we break that area of support over here, I might start attacking that to the downside. Euro Japanese yen, right? Again, into that resistance, rejected. It looks and reminds me exactly of what's going on right now on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. So there's nothing to see or do over here today on that pair. This is actually interesting. This is, we were just tracking the euro Australian dollar, right? Just to refresh your mind, waiting for pullbacks into resistance. I explained why. Here's the euro New Zealand dollar. Same thing. Do you see that resistance right over here? It's local. It's not a strong level. I'm going to go to the daily time frame really quick just to make sure of that, right? Is that a big level? It is a big level. Do you see over here where we were touched? Over here, then it held as support. Here again, it was resistance. Here it was support. Here again, as support. We're right into that level. Let me just borrow one of these lines, draw it down over here. Do you see right now this is completely in play as we've pulled back into that resistance? Completely in play. If I looked at this yesterday, I probably would have took this trade in the London session. I probably would have took that entry, right? Being that I didn't, well, that's great. If it's there, that's a green flag all day long. That's probably one of the best possible opportunities I've seen all day so far. This also looks really good. This is the euro US dollar. Been a while. Why do I say it looks pretty good? Do you see this area, this trend line over here? Resistance, resistance. First test of support over it. Also local horizontal support right over here. If this area holds and resumes off of it, why everyone has become a dollar bull, I'll be looking to buy off support in an uptrend. This is also getting flagged for me over here. All right. Pound Australian dollar. This looks interesting. I'm seeing finally a pullback. This is a downtrend, looking to sell off resistance. First opportunity. Right now, it's also into some local resistance, right? So is this the best area? I want to go to the daily time frame and see if that closest resistance is a good level or not. I don't know that it is, and I feel it's kind of fuzzy in here. So I feel it's kind of fuzzy. When I mean it's kind of fuzzy, is this is what my eyes are seeing right now. I just want to share it with you so that you understand. I'm seeing in this whole area, like that. Any point at any point of that, that's all resistance. It's not a straight line as I normally try to use straight lines, but all of that is resistance. So I'm going to actually green flag this one as well. All right. Pound Canadian dollar. Interesting. Pound definitely. Canadian dollar has been pretty strong. Pound stronger. Getting ready here for another possible breakout of this triangle pattern. It's very, how do you say, not neat. It's not neat and clean. Not clean is what I should use. But I see this triangle pattern, and now we're towards the upper resistance. Could we make it easier for ourselves? Let's go on the daily time frame and see if we can see any horizontal clear resistance that would say if we broke out above it, we know that we could start looking to go long, right? See, it's all fuzzy here. I don't like trading pairs like this, that there's lots of long wicks and it's all fuzzy. Nevertheless, I want to track it. I'm going to use over here at 1.1747 a line of resistance. If we get above it, that might be the place to look to attack. All right, so that's resistance. I don't like it though. Pound Japanese yen. Pound Japanese yen. Dun, dun, dun. Nothing's going on that I like. We'll move right along into some resistance right now, by the way. Into some resistance, but I don't like it, and I don't like this line being here on my chart. All right, pound New Zealand dollar. Wow, this is a pound strengthening here versus a bunch of pairs. Definitely could see that from what I'm looking at over here. But why I say that the Australian dollar, which has been one of the strongest pairs, is the one that's maintaining the still hasn't broken any technical levels to the downside. But I see pound strengthening. I'm making that observation across the board. I'm seeing the pound strengthen over here. Are we still looking to sell into resistance? I'm not sure. We've just come to a resolution on the pound. I'm just making an observation today. That's all. Noticing that pound strength across the board. Nothing more than that today. Pound US dollar, right? Let's take a look over here. I'm on the daily. I'm going to the 3-day. Want to see that trend line over here. That's a big, massive line over here. That's a 14-year trend line break that's occurring on the pound US dollar. Interesting over here. Very interesting because you see also the retest of that trend line, resumption off. Another retest, this time of that support, resuming off. Super healthy over here. Pound US dollar. This might be a trade to be focusing in on and looking. Let me go to the daily time frame right now. I want to see this resistance over here, what that is and what that looks like. Let me come to the 3-day, right? Interesting over here. Interesting. So I like this from a position trade standpoint over here. I like this massive trend line break, and then I like, since it's made that break, how price has first of all retested that trend line, has confirmed it into support, and then has come in and retested it again. This time holding the area of support, showing me things are looking bullish. But I'm behind here, so I got to be patient and wait and try to pick an entry on this. Right over here also I could see that little bit of trend line over here, right? So above there, outside of there, and that local resistance, getting that support, that might be the place. I'm gonna keep tracking this trade. I'm actually gonna give it just a blue flavor over here because I'm interested in it. Should we go below 2000 DMA even if jumping off support? Yeah, so I'm just looking over here what's happening from a swing trader's perspective on the 8 hour. Um, I I don't consult it at all. You all know what I focus in on. I'm focusing on price off of support and resistance, and then using the help of trend lines and chart patterns. That's all I'm looking at. I don't consult anything else at any time. Here's the daily, and I can say, and you all know now, as we've been doing this for about, I don't know, 14 months or so, I can't imagine anything that works better. I can't imagine anything that works better. Not that there's, I just can't imagine it. So here is the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. It's a cross pair over here. You're seeing this retest of that broken resistance, the resumption off, and now here was that last local resistance and a move into it. Is that a bigger level if I zoom out over here, right? It's fuzzy. It's fuzzy. I'm just going to stay away because I see lots of opportunity today. So I'm only going to go with what's clear and stay away from what's not. New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. Just be patient over here. All right, it's not highlighted today. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. What's going on? Nothing. Right? Plenty of opportunity in the market today. We don't need to really force something. Is US dollar, Japanese yen, by the way, US dollar, Canadian dollar. I'm on the daily time frame right now. You all know this important trend line over here that started. This is the dollar milkshake. It really happened and it really works during a liquidity crisis, right? So are we coming back up to challenge? This is area of what? This is resistance that we're getting rejected into right now. If we cross above here to the upside, that offers the possibility here of the dollar putting on a bigger move. That should be resistance right over here. But right now today, we are into resistance. Let's go see. Oh, we were rejected by that resistance. And now we're in no man's land. This is support. All right, got to clean this up now that we're back into it. Got to clean that up. You can see that we were broken that resistance into the next area of resistance that held, and now we're in no man's land. That's clarity right there, by the way. Being in no man's land is very clear. We're in no man's land because we're between resistance and support. There you go. US dollar, Swiss franc. I don't think I'm going to look at it, but actually, that's beautiful. Hold on. Let's take a look at it. Let's clean up this chart. It's been ages since we looked at it, right? Do you see that resistance we're into right now? Is that opportunity that we want to make? I'm going to give a hard look at this right now. Just give me 1 second to clean up this chart. Not bad for being out of the flow. This has been 3 days since our last session. All coming off a Friday session. Got a lot of work done today. I'm very, very happy about that. Massive downtrend into resistance. Let's keep note of it, right? Is this, out of all the trades I've seen, is this the one that I want to look for? You know what? I would be a fool if I didn't consult it later. So I'm going to consult it. All right. And US dollar, Japanese yen, we already talked about that one. Let's take a look at the US dollar. It's just consolidating over here off support. I don't like it. I'm going to keep moving away from that. This trend line is no longer in play. Doesn't need to be on my chart. Right? Kenneth, thank you, brother. That's it for today. We're going to keep this one a short one, 1 hour. Hard work, strong work, strong work. Do we have any things we want to talk about, or just want to keep this a strong session today so I could work towards, or yeah, I'm going to work towards organizing with the CTM, get our live training session scheduled, work on that, work on a lot of things. This afternoon, we'll have our update video. We're back to our normal schedule. Yeah, we could look at Cardano for sure. I had a dream yesterday, the day before yesterday, that I bought Cardano. Very weird dream. Very weird dream, indeed. And it was very clear. Like, it was very clear, and it was a good setup and a good trade. I've never taken a trade off a dream. I'm not going to start now, but let's look at it. Listen, here's what I'm going to say. Definitely. Okay, here we go. You all could see that bull flag developing on Cardano. What I'm going to say is this, though. Boom, boom. That's what we see happening. So here's the thing about Bitcoin in this bull market, about altcoins, right? Everyone knows you could buy off support in these uptrends, right? That by the way is right here at the entry. That was the last support. I'm on the 12-hour because it's a lot cleaner for me than the 8-hour right now. All right. So I'm just to illustrate this with you on the 12-hour. Is that the same entry on the 8-hour? Same exact entry. Do you see it? And not only that, we're just back towards that entry right now. Would you be looking to take this trade or buy Cardano right now? I don't know. It's a lot safer though breaking out of this bull flag. If you break above the trend line, that's a lot safer. This is right at entry right now though. That was why I say it's at entry is because you've retested that support of that bull flag and in the uptrend and it resumed off of it. So you're right at entry right now if you are interested in Cardano. All right. And because you missed that entry, I'm assuming you missed this entry over here. You're just right back at entry right now. So someone that's interested in Cardano could be taking a look at it right now. Raul Paul said the markets are likely to crash somewhere between February and March. What's my take? My take is this, right? My take is this, is that Raul, my good friend Raul Powell, who I don't know, I think that the Caribbean rum might be getting to him. I really do. I really do. All right. So here's my thing with Raul is from here, right, to here, Raul was expecting an insolvency crash. Raul missed all of this, right? That's my thing about Raul. So is he and then he called a crash over here. It's on his channel, right? He called the crash over here or right here. In one of these two places, he said, if this is the point I would be looking for the crash if I was going to take the trade. And then he's calling it again. So I guess Raul is always looking for the market crash. I don't know, but that's what I think about that. All right. So that's right. Yeah, well, that's fine if you're all on the Raul camp, but we have a history now, and you could compare results, and one person's on the right side of the trade all year long, and another's not. So there you go, right? But Raul loses a little bit of respect, right, when he starts getting people to invest in things that are completely highly risky, and people should not be investing in, and understand why. So that's that. Right? And Ethereum and Bitcoin are not the same thing, right? They're completely different. Am I rooting for Ethereum? Yeah. And there we go. But we don't. Whatever. That's nonsense. We're not going to do that again. That's not the vibe I want to ride. But the question was, what do I think about that call? That's what I think about that call, right? If this guy Sven from North something trading, the guy that the perma bear. I wish he was a perma bull. Could you imagine if this guy and the work that he brings forth, was a perma bull? This guy would be on the right side of the trade all the time, but he's a perma bear. Anyway, I don't. Yeah, Raul's riding that trade as well, 100%. And just let me be clear to everyone, I greatly enjoy listening to Raul and things that he articulates and shares, and I like to listen to him. I don't listen to him too often, but I could say that maybe once a month there's an interview that I greatly enjoy, and I think that you should listen to everyone and get everyone's opinion triangulate both sides of arguments and make your own conclusion. I have nothing bad to say about Raul or anyone. So I want to get off that tip, right? There we go. We looked at gold. We definitely did. What else are we looking at? Boom, 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 boom. Right. Northman Trader. I wish Sven was a perma bull. I just really do. What's my medium term on oil? So it's kind of needs to pause, right? It kind of needs to pause. Why? Once we broke out of this channel over here, right over here, once we broke out of this channel, retested it, I then put up a target over here of this, of 49, right? I said, I'm not trading it. This is not where I want to trade, right? By the way, early last year, January, February, March, we started the oil trade. We were in it way on this channel before anyone else, way before anyone else, right? But I'm not interested in this. But we just, as you know, just to keep in the flow, just tracked it. Then once we got above this, I said, all right, then the next target is over here. But I'm not looking. I don't have a target. I think we're coming into some pretty strong resistance over here, right? And if we get above this area, then oil could keep going further. It doesn't make sense. I don't like it, so I'm not interested in it. And right now, I don't anymore. Like, mission accomplished, right? So we could really say that if we get into these levels over here, but I don't. Oil's not interesting. Oh, sorry about that. That was that question over there. All right. So sorry. I apologize to all of you. I didn't mean to turn that corner over there that we did slightly. This is a place that we're just working to accomplish our goals. Definitely just going to keep it positive and build off of that. I know that Raul has a lot to offer. You should definitely consult his opinion, and that's that. All right. So, all right, everyone. This afternoon, I'll be touching base with all of you. We'll take it up from there. Until then, have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon.